Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays The Binding of Isaac Rebirth. 44 wins in a row. I am starting to get a little impressed and a little scared, if I do say so myself. This is good. It looks bad, but it's good. Our attack fly is going to carry us. We have a Satanic Bible. It's going to carry us through the early game at least. ZCXQ 8BPE. Again, not an enormous fan of my stats right now, but this attack fly goes a long way. And honestly, I don't think our damage is that bad. Unless it's literally actually as low as can go. Why would I not use Satanic Bible like 2 rooms ago? That is a bit of a sloppy misplay there, but that's okay. All we gotta do is start to get some momentum with Satanic Bible, and if that gets sorted, we're pretty much good to go, I think. I don't really want to fight the boss yet. I'd rather do some more exploration. I'd like to pick up maybe 4 or 5... yeah, 4 or 5 total hearts here. It's not going to be likely for us to do so. I think we're at 2.5 right now, so we need 2 more charges in order to get to 4.5, and that would allow us to take 1 hit of damage. That's unlikely, but it is possible if we manage to find a decently large floor, or if I'm not an idiot and actually manage to use Satanic Bible right off the bat. Anything along those lines might have helped out. Also, random battery charges dropping could be good, and you never know what we're going to get from our boss, so... As long as our HP gets sorted here, you know, damage is harder to get, but in a weird way, it's more likely to get it on the next floor because of the whole deal with the devil situation. So, I sort of feel like we have a good chance to be okay. All we need to do is get our basic stuff handled first. That was damage that I'm not necessarily that beat up over. I think that was damage that was somewhat tough to dodge. I hate this. The attack fly is on the exact wrong side of me right now. But luckily these spiders don't really see too well, although they did hit me there. I gotta turn the volume down a little bit here. It's getting a little overpowering. Okay, all we gotta do is live through this room. We got no issues. Oh, that was a little dangerous. We do have 2 bombs. Can always throw those down if I need to. Oh, I have attracted some aggro that I wish I had not. I'm a little perturbed here. Quite a lot of riffraff. I have absolutely had to use attack fly there. Thank God we fucking have attack fly, man. This could have been a very tough situation without it. Slowly but surely, I think we have made it so there's actually a surmountable amount of spiders here. I don't want to talk about mounting spiders, but apparently that's what this channel has become, and I basically broke even on that room because of a lack of attention at the last possible second. Feels bad. I think I'm going to go into our shop. And on our shop, I'm going to blow this up. And that gives me almost enough money to buy the battery charge. And that gives me enough money to buy the battery charge. So I'm thinking we want... Oh, that gives me a little bit more there as well. We want 3 Spirit Hearts / Demon Hearts here if we can afford it. And then hopefully we'll get Red Hearts from our boss here. We'll see, though. It's the Widow. It's not that bad. It's just the best I ever had. And man, the Widow is like 10 times easier than the last room we just did. We just walked into it for like 2 or 3 seconds and it is straight up dead, and my confidence has come back and there is some HP. We'll head down to the next floor, and now I'm like, what was I even worried about? There's no problem. We might even be able to. Want is a strong word. We might be able to go to the curse room. That was not a good use of my HP there, and you know, it is a resource we can use or fail to use at our leisure, I guess. I gotta admit, you know, this is very similar to a run we had very recently where I just refused to basically use my tears and used only my orbital instead. It led to some very dangerous situations, but we did get BFF and we made it work. We also eventually picked up some damage, hopefully sooner rather than later this time. I was really hoping for a battery charge there, but life goes on. We can get into our curse room for free. Cancer Trinket is amazing, of course. And we do want that, battery charge. We just might as well get a full charge first, otherwise we're kind of losing half of it in translation here. Now, what's better? Tinted Rock, we don't know what's inside of it, or a curse room, we also don't know what's inside of that. I would hazard a guess that low risk, low reward option is definitely that Tinted Rock. fairly low risk, possibly higher reward option would be this curse room here. So let's give this a shot and hope for something. Yeah, I mean, that's probably... It's better than what we would have expected from our Tinted Rock anyway. And we can still get our Tinted Rock, so I'm feeling pretty okay about that. We got a key, so we can get into our item room. Big rooms, I'm so happy to have given up one black card and just finished that room. Because big rooms are our absolute nemesis right now. It's actually ridiculous. Can't do it, unfortunately. It's absolutely ridiculous how underpowered we are on those rooms, even with the Cancer Trinket. You know, we're firing quickly, our shots are not doing very much damage. But again, possibly something we can work for. This would be a perfect room to get a battery charge. No, that's okay. We're still going to get a battery charge back here, but obviously I was hoping to get one a little bit more cheekily from that champion spider there. But you can see that we're starting to get a lot of momentum here, and it's going to be very difficult for the game to kill us when we continue to gain, you know, 3 or 4 black cards per floor. Not to mention the item room, not to mention potentially something from the shop, not to mention potentially a deal with the devil, and, you know, occasional curse rooms and stuff like that as well. Alright. Just out-navigate these guys. Harlequin Baby is a mild improvement. At best. But it's not bad. This is actually one of the better big rooms for us, because we don't at least have to get involved in any combat. I'll still take some damage, because otherwise it just wouldn't feel right. And we're fighting Fistula. Fighting Fistula, great name for a high school team mascot. If you go to a school, maybe like the, you know, Twisted Story of Wayside High. There's a reference I didn't think I'd be making today. No, okay. I have confirmed something there, and that something is that with our attack fly, even at its outer bounds, it is not a large enough radius for us to get away from the actual explosion there. That's okay. We've killed Fistula. We'll end up taking, I think, 1 Spirit Heart. That's not that bad. Considering we gain them on a regular basis. It could be catastrophic if we didn't start with Satanic Bible, but... Got more HP, and please, at least Precedent. You know, I can't be too mad that at least we got Precedent. Our damage is still absolutely god-awful, and we're going to be using our attack fly more than ever. Harlequin Baby doesn't really swing things too much in our favor. Okay, when we got Curse of the Labyrinth on floor 2 is very dangerous. Teratoma's not bad. Not as bad as the Fistula we just fought, at least, because... Summon spiders instead of explosions, and flies beat spiders in this situation. At least when we can control the flies. Like, this has the makings of a train wreck run, just because it's... By the way, if you're wondering what I mean by train wreck run, I had a run called Trainwreck that was so bad, I guess it inspired a quote-unquote genre of my Rebirth episodes. Basically, those are runs in which you have no damage or very few chances for success, but have a tendency to just live for a long time anyway, so they end up being like 90 minutes long. And you have, you know, maybe a coin flip chance of winning or losing, depending on how things shake out. Yeah, so that's what a train wreck run is, and you can probably see... Oh, that was so bad of me. You can probably see how this one has the makings of a train wreck run. We have no damage right now, and our best means of doing damage requires us to put ourselves at risk of taking damage. So that's it's scary for me, because the train wreck runs are long and dull and oftentimes have a chance to lead to a loss. But we shouldn't be too bent out of shape yet, you know. We have a guppy item, and at least, again, I can't stress this enough, at least we have attack fly, even though it is leading to damage. For us, at least it's allowing us to actually hurt these enemies a little bit more regularly. Spelunker's Hat, again, is not going to go too far to stop my feelings of this being a potential train wreck, but, you know, we gotta think a little bit more positively than that, I think, if we're gonna be practical here. We have a pill, there's no pill that could really hurt us that badly. Hematemesis is fine, at least we know it for the future. We could use it on a second secret room or something like that. Mostly I was, you know, a Tears Down pill would normally be bad, but because we have the Cancer Trinket, a Tears Down pill is not going to affect us that much. Like, our damage already sucks. Yes, when your damage sucks, making it worse is bad, but it's not like it would be the difference between our tears being good and our tears being awful. Our tears are already pretty awful. I know they're awful because I'm sometimes trying to position myself in such a way that Harlequin Baby can actually deal damage. So that's, like, just an awful sign for how things are going here. But the run itself, like, don't let me complain too much. I'm just complaining about damage. The run itself is actually great. I'm very glad we got Satanic Bible. I'm gonna blow this up. Hopefully get a key. Okay, we got 2 cents, which is not what I wanted. Yeah, thank God we had Satanic Bible, and I've said thank God we had Attack Fly, but thank God we got Satanic Bible with Attack Fly, otherwise this would be a nightmare in and of itself. You know, if we didn't have anything to gain HP, that's gonna hurt, yeah. If we didn't have anything to gain HP from, we wouldn't be able to use Attack Fly as kind of prodigiously as we're using it right now. And we're just gonna try to keep this fly in a position where it can deal some damage, because we're not really wrecking the hollow right now. And we get enough money to buy whatever we want from the shop on this floor. What a glorious gift. The Fallen. No, it's the Husk, which is actually a really nice turn of events for us. They didn't have to give us one of the easiest bosses that we could possibly fight right here, but they did. In fact, they gave us probably the 2 easiest bosses, maybe relative to their position in the whole game. And I'm extremely happy for that. We may still take a little damage. That's something I wouldn't be surprised to see, just because, again, our means of which we're doing this fight is a little bit high risk, relatively high reward. Deal with the devil? Not surprising. And we get experimental treatment. This is the second characteristic of a train wreck run. No matter how many times we pick up a new item, none of them, seemingly against all odds, help us out. Experimental treatment, it could force us into a situation where we're extremely uncomfortable with our ability to kill enemies. It could take away our HP. It could lower our speed. It's just, it's too much of a risk right now. Experimental treatment is an absurd item, but it's an absurd item. I do take it sometimes, but I don't think it's actually very fun. I think it mostly just has the potential to be extremely annoying. Alright, more bombs. Obviously, we have to do our due diligence on this floor. We missed out on our deal with the devil through no fault of our own, which is not me, like, making an excuse. It's just literally how it works out. We didn't have any opportunity to get it. We should go to our second secret room. This is, as far as big rooms go, a relatively easy one. Ideal case for us would be to not kill any of the green ones. And just let them kill each other. I don't know if they can kill themselves, but they can kill each other for sure. Alright, another key we can get for the cost of a single bomb. We can get to that, so we may want to save a bomb to try that, but I'm actually not going to, because I see that we can get into our curse room for free again. Which is really good if we can become Guppy. That's alright, open that one up. We get the goat head, which is possibly enough to save our run. I mean that without any shred of hyperbole there. That will allow us to get into our deal with the devil on this floor. You know, it takes us one step closer to becoming Guppy. Guppy is a real shortcut to winning a train wreck run. We're only 2 items away right now, and if we could minimize that even more, even better. Of course, we have that other battery charge back there. I don't really want to do that just because it's going to take forever. With the order. Jeez. Okay. Again, I haven't even... It's probably a new Northern Lion record for the latest I have looked at a clock into an episode. It took me 12 minutes to even look at the clock, and I think the reason for that is that I already knew that I wasn't going to be happy with the results. Because this is an XL floor, there is, you know, a theoretical chance that we could still do boss rush, but mostly I'm just concerned about actually making it through to the end here. Which is not set in stone. You know, we get a Krampus fight here. Krampus's head instead of lump of coal. Next floor, you know, deals with the devil or 3 red chests. Like, I've been on these train wreck runs before. This ain't my first... So, indict. This ain't my first rodeo. It's not really... That's a little bit too gravelly even for the cane train. But you get the idea. You get the idea. We need to, as soon as possible, pick up some form of damage. And I'm okay with working for it. It doesn't have to be, you know, Mom's Knife or Brimstone. Just anything that gives me a shred of, you know, upward mobility here feels good. Ceremonial robes, mark, pact, etc., etc. That was just terrible damage. There's no real reason for me to have done that. Dark Bum. It solves a problem that we had already solved in the form of giving us, you know, more survivability. But I'm still thankful that we had the opportunity to do something about it. Now, I'm going for mushrooms instead of our second secret room. This was a terrible decision. Did not pan out well. Now, we can afford to get rid of Satanic Bible if we get like a blue or red candle. Which we don't, but we get starter deck, which is great. Comes with a death card. I don't need the spirit heart, that's just ridiculous. We will take the bomb, and we'll use the bomb to get into the second secret room. This floor is over, and we've gotten yet another floor without actually improving our damage. But we do have the goat head that is still going to carry us to a deal with the devil here, and hopefully pan out better than maybe we would expect. I did want to open that. That wasn't just a mistake. And we got a lot of bombs out of it. We could always go back and buy a key from our shop if we want, but I'm assuming that we're going to get a key in the future anyway. And, well, you know, let's add some element of risk to it. Oh, there must have been a red heart I missed there. Well, this is... It's worth the bomb on a strict, like, arithmetic, not a rhythmic. That's cause for seeing a doctor. Yo, yeah, get that red heart. Okay, then we'll leave. I'd almost welcome some spiders. I appreciate the spirit hearts, but, you know, some friendly spiders are fine by me as well. We are at full HP. Thank you, Dark Bomb. And this is what I mean when I say that we can afford to get rid of Satanic Bible now and instead pick up anything but it. Not that Satanic Bible is bad, but anything that gives us an offensive advantage would be worth it. So hopefully our deal with the devil comes through in the clutch for us here. Otherwise, it's going to be a hell of a necropolis. There's no way I can't, if that makes sense. I have to take Mom's knife here. Our damage is just so bad. And then we'll take experimental treatment. It didn't give us HP. I was looking forward to taking Rotten Baby, but that's okay. Well, we've won now. We have too much defense and too much offense. There's no way we lose this run. And in a way, I kind of resent it. Because we had a little bit of a cool run. And then Mom's knife showed up and was like, hey, I heard you were asking about damage. Here you go. I'll sort you out. And I'm like, well, in a way... You've cheapened the run here, Mom's knife. I am going to take left hand because I don't feel like we need the cancer trinket as much with Mom's knife. I mean, it helps out, I think, with charging, but not an enormous problem either way. I'd rather have the opportunity to get a guppy completion here, maybe get a free ability to fly or something like that. But, yeah, it kind of cheapens it a little bit. I was having fun with the orbitals. I did want more tier damage just so we weren't completely screwed, but I didn't necessarily want... you know, just the instant win card, but I have to take it. There's you know, my hands are tied there. So we've taken that battery charge. A little bit, you know, again, mathematically kind of suboptimal. Man, our knife is even still not doing that much damage. Like, normally when it touches an enemy, at least an enemy that's not a boss, they will die. Here, we have to get like 2 ticks of damage to a bat to kill them, which is... above and beyond the norm. I think you're probably familiar with that, though. So we did pick up some HP there. Again, kind of like, except for Dark Bum, which is one of the better items in the game, without a doubt. Kind of striking out on our item room items here, right? With the knife, you can't push the bombs as far, for whatever reason. Don't really want to deal with that. Do want to get to this boss fight as soon as possible, and hopefully pick up another deal with the devil, because again, being unable to kill these guys in one hit is a little bit surprising, a little bit scary, and you know what? In a way, a little bit enticing, because it means that we still have some of that tension that I thought had completely vacated from the run. Thank God we don't have to deal with this guy with exclusively our attack fly, because Cage is annoying as heck. That was bad damage, but he'll take some in turn, and he will be killed, of course. Caffeine pill is good. We need the speed, actually, and we get a... If we drop it, I think it'll become a card. Yeah. So we turned a regular pill, or a pill we didn't know anything about, into a fool card. And we're gonna fight Krampus. This has to happen. You always pay the Krampus tax. And we are not gonna be doing boss rush. So we'll save our fool card for like a, I think we can afford to take Head of Krampus, actually. We'll save our fool card for a curse room or something like that. We definitely want to visit more rooms here. We're not done with this yet. I am happy with the speed upgrade. A little bit shocked at our lack of damage, but hey, at least we have Mom's knife, so we have a chance now. One of the worst, almost at least, uses of Krampus' head I've ever seen there. Why would I take Krampus' head over Satanic Bible? Weirdly enough, despite having Mom's knife, I feel like our survivability is better than our damage. I will take BFF. So, you know, mostly because we have Dark Bum. Dark Bum is going to allow us to get a lot of HP back, at least that's the general plan of it. And I don't think that we'll need Satanic Bible. Anything that gives us a bit of an offensive push is actually going to be maybe a little bit better for us. And you know what? Like, Harlequin Baby with BFF might actually be able to hurt some things. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Another Spirit Heart for us. So far, you know, we're being proven right here, but it doesn't take much for me to realize that I've made a big mistake here. We'll see, though. Mostly, I'm incredulous that I still cannot kill these things super quickly, but we'll live with it. I'm a big boy. I had an uncomfortable realization last night. Kate and I were watching some TV. There's a television show. It's its own can of worms here. It was called Drugs, Inc., and it was, you know, basically about the narcotics trade. You may have seen it on the National Geographic television channel. But that's not... And now that I think about it, this is almost more fucked up. But while we were watching it, there was a commercial for Pampers. Now that I think about it, I'm like, why would that be fucked up? Well, Northern Line, it's obvious that it's fucked up. Why would babies be watching a show about the drug trafficking trade? But then you gotta think, Northern Line, why babies don't buy their own diapers? You want death or the fool? You know what? I think we'll take the death card and the Hagalaz rune. The parents are gonna be watching the show, you freaking idiot. But anyway, do you think, because they always have, like, the babies, maybe someone involved in the entertainment industry could paint a picture for me here, because I won't remember, but, they always have, like, the babies in the competitors' diapers, and they're, like, saggy, and you're like, look at that shitty baby, it shit itself, fucking idiot baby, stupid. And then they have, like, some Pampers babies come out, and they're, you know, the diapers are looking all, like, leak-proof and stuff like that, and the uncomfortable realization I had is, you know, when they're casting this, oh, that's not very smart. When they're casting this, do they cast, like, the uglier baby in the competitors' diapers? I mean, that just seems like advertising 101, right? Not that I'm justifying it, but it seems like you would put... If you had two babies, and you said, hey, this one's, like, a little handsomer than that baby, you're not gonna put it in the competitor's diaper, right? That could lead to an association that's bad for your brand. I'm not saying the babies... Oh, that's good, and we'll take that, actually, over Krampus's head. It's Guppy's head there. I'm not saying the babies that are modeling the competitors' diapers are hideous creatures, you know, they're not hellspawn. I'm just saying, I bet if you're the casting director for that Pampers commercial, you're like, well, we're gonna put that baby in the Huggies. Because that is, you know, that baby's just not Pampers material right now. Maybe if it lost 10 pounds. That's an uncomfortable joke that I hope has never actually been uttered in real life. Anyway, anyone here work on the inside? Don't lie about it. Don't try to trick me, okay? Because the only way that we can pursue human knowledge is by trying to find, you know, a definite source instead of just disrupting things. But I would really like to know if the ugly babies are the ones that are in the competitors' diapers, or do they like? Do they flip a coin or something? Because, you know, they're like, well, they're all babies, you know? It's not like any baby's gonna knock your socks off or anything like that. We will take chemical peel here. I don't know, I'm not on the inside, that's what I'm saying. You know, take it from a bald 26-year-old. You know, I understand the plight of the ugly baby, which I believe is my favorite Wagner opera. If I was cast in a movie, I would be the best friend. I would be the guy who's, like, you know, can't get his life together, probably. I'm not really... I would be the Seth Rogen, effectively. You know, I got the beard, getting a little pudgy, you know, but still, like, largely... Oh, right, that's just gonna blow up. Still largely affable and a little maybe even charming in spite of the, you know, things society would deem as imperfections. But definitely, you know, I'm no Joseph Gordon-Levitt here. Let's fight our boss here. Mostly because I really want another deal with the devil as soon as possible to see if we become Guppy. I've got no suspicions that I'm gonna be in the Pampers, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna be in the competitors' diapers, so I feel the plight of the ugly baby. We want ceremonial robes here, I think. Dun 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 dun. Oh, wait, okay. Plight of the ugly baby wouldn't be like that. It would be wah 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. I don't know why that became like a duck closer to the end. Or Wario. Or Waluigi, depending on the pitch, I guess. But you get the idea. So if there's any multi-millionaire, you know, Hollywood commercial directors. I don't know. Is there a Hollywood for commercials? It's probably like Trenton, New Jersey, or something like that. Iowa City. Anyway, that's my realization. Commercials tell you a lot, man. Because they study like human psychology. Only by gazing into what commercials think of you do you realize what humankind thinks of itself, I think. Sports commercials are the best. Sports commercials don't make you that insecure, you know? They're always just like, drink beer! Buy this truck! Dennis Leary's telling you to buy this truck, and I'm like, damn, dude, I can barely park like a Mini. I've never actually driven a Mini, but I imagine it would be tough. You know, it's city driving here. I can't have a Ford F-150, or God forbid, a 2150, or 2150, yeah, Ford 2150. We've all been there. A Ford 250 or a Ford 350, people in my parking garage would vote me out of the building Survivor style. They'd have to get Jeff Probst here. They wouldn't be able to see around the corners. I really thought we were done with this room already. It's a weird run. It's weird to have Mom's Knife, but still kind of be like, I'm not doing that well. Like, I'm not doing badly, and we've almost certainly got a win here. Ceremonial Robes admittedly has helped out a lot, but it's kind of like an underwhelming Mom's Knife run right now. Again, don't take this as complaining. Mom's Knife is still like an A+ item. But, you know, as someone who was a teacher, not in a formal, like, a Western academic setting, but kind of like glorified daycare, also English as a second language in Korea. That's not an insult to ESL teachers, it's an insult to the way my school handled things, but that's another issue in and of itself. You know, there are students who are A+ students, but sometimes, you know, you give them an A+ and you're like, this is not your best work, but you're so far ahead of the curve that, you know, you still get an A+ for it, but come on, Jenny. You could have done better than this. I mean, yes, you still got literally the highest mark I'm allowed to give you, but this is not the best A+ you've ever had. That's how I feel about this run right now. You know, it's Mom's Knife, it's an A+ run, but it's not my favorite A+ ever. You know, if you did a science fair project where you made a volcano in 4th grade, you might get an A+. It's possible, depending on how you do it. But if you cured like non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or something like that, you would also get an A+, I have to imagine. But no, those A+s are not created equal. People would probably be more excited about the cure for non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, is my guess. But I will say that I think it was really the Ceremonial Robes pickup that took us over the edge here. We're kind of, I don't want to say balling out of control, but we're starting to ball within the realm of control, at least a little bit. Death Sun? Chariot Sun? I mean, the death card's a little better, I think, but it doesn't matter too much. The Ceremonial Robes pickup has at least given us enough damage that I can kill enemies in one swing of the knife, as opposed to having to work a little harder than that for it. And that's good. No mapping here, but it's a run that's going to be done in kind of due time for Mom's Knife, which is exciting, I guess. And our guppy dream is not looking too likely to come true, I gotta admit. Oh, this is a perfect chariot opportunity, because I hate dealing with fistula. Little close of a call there, but that's okay. Yeah, this is a run that I can be happy with. It's win 45, or at least it's setting up to be win 45. I'm not gonna be writing home about this one. Hey Mom, check it out. I won my 45th Eden run in a row with Mom's Knife, and nothing really else remarkable about it, except for the fact that we started with an almost unlosable situation. Oh, well, that's good use of company resources there right off the bat. That one will do it. We gotta try just to see if we can complete the guppy dream. Oh, we can hide out a little bit here. We basically have spectral tears. Burkano rune. Actually pretty good. I will use a key for this. I should have taken that other key earlier. There we go. We got our guppy dream. We're guppy. I used guppy's paw even though it only gave us invincibility. And you know what? Gosh darn it, I'm happy with it. I still don't think we'll be making many flies, unless Harlequin Baby summons them, in which case we'll still not be making many, but more than originally expected. The knife does summon flies occasionally, though, and it helps, and mostly I'm just happy to have the ability to fly, and definitely the ability to drop the left hand, and not sweat that too much. So we'll take the Sun, Burkano. Probably try to use the sun on the or on the chest. Yep, definitely not using it on the cathedral. I'll use Berkano rune right now. Mostly the reason I use the Berkano rune right now is to put us in a situation where we can, I thought I dropped the left hand, excuse me. I did, actually, but, to put us in a situation where, we can actually carry another card down to the next floor, you know, maybe we get like an Emperor or something along those lines. Why do this room? Because it's Curse of the Lost. You know, sometimes I skip rooms because of the Curse of the Lost, and sometimes I'll end up doing extra rooms because of Curse of the Lost. Also, we only have 5 bombs, not really that many. But I don't want to have to do this room multiple times, so we might as well just finish it once. Sure, we got hurt. I'm not going to sweat it too much. We have like 1 full envy left that has not been touched. That is annoying. We didn't lose 1 full heart. We lost 2 full hearts, I think. And we're good. Don't need the money, so we'll just move along. This room is substantially more fun to deal with. Super Envy, I'm of the opinion that it's the most heinous enemy brainstormed and created for the Binding of Isaac Rebirth. I mean, it's in vanilla as well, but something about, like, Rebirth I finally clued in, like, oh, this guy's like a shithead. Hopefully that doesn't change for Afterbirth. Although, you know, some more difficult enemies would be nice, but Afterbirth, or Rebirth I should say in general, has a very interesting design problem that I've thought a little bit about, not a ton about. I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. Oh, I'm staying up nights thinking about it. But the general consensus seems to be that Rebirth is a little bit easier than vanilla, but Rebirth is also a lot better than vanilla. Which is an interesting kind of, I don't want to say contradiction, but seeming paradox, given that this is a game that is beloved partly for its difficulty. Part of the reason that Rebirth is seen as easier is because it actually just runs smoother, so it's easier to dodge and, you know, chart where bullets are going to go and stuff like that. Part of it is also, in my opinion, the kind of feast or famine nature of the items, you know. We were on a run that was not going well, we picked up Mom's Knife, we're going to win. You know, if you pick up 3 guppy items, you're going to win. If you pick up Brimstone, you're going to win. Death's Touch gives you a great chance. A lot of other items give you a pretty good chance. 2020, Magic Mushroom to some extent, you know, Judas' Shadow. You have to learn all that stuff, of course, but once you learn it, it makes it fairly simple for you to repeat it, if that makes sense. And that's why we see people putting up, you know, 50, 100, 200 streaks. However, the most fun that you can have with Rebirth, in my opinion, are these runs where you're kind of just a little bit stronger than the enemies. The runs that make Rebirth not fun at all, and a lot of other roguelites kind of suffer for this, is making enemies like far too tanky and making the player so weak that they, you know, it takes 100 shots to kill them, and then it just becomes the tedium of dodging over and over and over, and you're like, I don't even want to play this anymore. Not because it's, you know, hard, but just because it's not fun. So if Afterbirth is actually rebalancing difficulty, I have no idea if it is. But if it is, not the greatest haul on the chest here, if it is, they've got to find a way to balance that. At least in my opinion, I would like them to find a way to balance that. You know, you want harder enemies, or you want, not even harder enemies, you want the game to be harder. And maybe you could manifest that with, like, larger floors or, you know, more difficult curses or something like that. But you don't want it to just become, you know, every enemy is a war of attrition, because that would be just annoying. It would kind of run antithetical, I think, to what makes Rebirth so fun. We know where we're going now, and we don't have HP, so I'll basically just use the sun. I already used the sun card, never mind. I was like, why can I see where I'm going? Right, the sun card that I used that I'm also thinking about using because I'm out of my mind a little bit. You're the one who's out, Gobby. Out of his mind. This is an easy one now. That was the worst damage I've taken in a long time, but we are completely sorted here thanks to Guppy's head and our flies from Mom's Knife. And we've got only small rooms leading up to the boss fight, which is stellar like a 2001 era Incubus song, and we can pretty much just put ourselves right up here and spin around like the Lawnmower Man, and he is dead. I don't know what killed him so quickly there. Must have been fly burst damage or something like that, but for now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.